You cannot rack your slide. I know. I watched my dad struggle in our last video. His arthritic hands turned a simple task with his Smith & Wesson bodyguard into a failure. He looked at me like he'd lost something he couldn't get back. Hi, I'm Dave. Husband, brother, and a son. I've spent 30 years in the firearms world, 12 years in the Army Reserve. But none of that matters if I cannot protect my family. I don't want to wake up in a prison cell because I made a bad choice. And I definitely don't want to fail my family because my gear didn't work. Here's the hard truth. You're using the wrong muscles to rack your slide. And when the adrenaline hits and the arthritis flares, you will fail. The lawnmower technique, as I call it, is killing your ability to get your gun into the fight. You've seen it 1,000 times at the range. A guy extends his pistol all the way from his body, make sure that's unloaded, between his thumb and 2 fingers or 3, yanks it back like he's starting a gas-powered lawnmower. His face turns red, the slide barely moves. He tries again with nothing. Now, this is not a strength problem, it's a physics problem. Your fingers contain intrinsic muscles that are small and weak, just the way it is. When you pinch the slide with fingertips, you're asking these tiny muscles to overcome 15 to 20 pound recoil spring. Add in arthritis, and those muscles are already inflamed and compromised. Now, when you add adrenaline, your fine motor skills can disappear completely. Now, a doctor commented that in her research in an officer-involved shootings, under life-threatening stress, your body dumps adrenaline and cortisol. Heart rate can spike to above 140 beats per minute. Your fine motor skills can vanish. You lose your ability to do precise movements with your fingers. Lawnmower technique requires precise finger placement and isolated muscle control. That control does not exist when someone is trying to kill you. I'll put the link for that research in the description. We're going to break this down 3 ways. The mechanics are simple. When you extend the gun away from your body, pinch the slide, you create a long lever with no mechanical advantage. You're fighting the spring with the weakest muscles in your hand while your shoulders and arms work against each other. If you need 15 or 20 pounds of force, but your fingertips pinch can only generate 8 to 12 on a good day. Probably worse on a bad day. Maybe 5 pounds. The math does not work. Emotionally, this failure destroys you. I've seen men in their 60s put their guns back in their case and walk away from shooting. They think their body betrayed them. They think they're too old. They think they can't protect their families anymore. That is simply not true. But it feels true when you can't perform basic functions of your weapon. The shame is real. The fear is worse. You start wondering what's going to happen if you need your gun at 2 a.m. and your hands don't work. This is about stewardship. You are the protector of your household. This is not optional. It's not negotiable. When you cannot operate your weapon, you've abandoned your post. You haven't prepared. You have not adapted. You're trusting a technique designed for a 25 or 30-year-old hands when you have 50 or 60-year-old hands. That's not wisdom. That's pride. Pride gets people killed. Now, if you're still using that lawnmower method, you're training to fail when it matters most. The internet commandos will tell you the solution is more hand strength. They'll sell you grip strengtheners and tell you to squeeze tennis balls. They'll say real men can rack any slide. They'll recommend lighter recoil springs or aftermarket charging handles that cost $80. But you don't need more strength. You need better mechanics. Now, there's nothing wrong with those tools if you use them with proper mechanics and technique. The push-pull method uses your entire upper body instead of your fingers. You bring the pistol close to your chest, making sure it's unloaded. You establish a full hand grip on the slide with your support hand, not a pinch, not your whole hand, palm, fingers, everything. Then you push the frame forward with your dominant hand while you pull the slide back with your support hand. You're using your chest, shoulders, and back muscles. These are large muscle groups designed for gross motor movement. They function under stress. Push, pull, push, pull. With arthritis, these work. The physics are undeniable. When you bring the gun close to your body, you shorten that arm and increase your mechanical advantage. When you use opposing forces, push and pull, you generate more total force with less effort. When you engage large muscle groups instead of small ones, you tap into strength reserves that don't disappear under stress. And this is not theory. This is how a lot of military and law enforcement armorers teach slide manipulation when fine motor skills are compromised. This is how you rack a slide in the dark, in the cold, with wet hands, injured hands, or old hands. Here's how you apply this tomorrow morning. You stand in front of a mirror with an unloaded pistol. Verify again, safety is paramount. Bring the gun to your chest. Place your support hand over the slide with your palm and fingers wrapped around it. If your hand should look like you're grabbing a doorknob, not pinching a coin. Push forward with your gun hand. Pull back with your support hand. Do it slow. Feel which muscles are working. Your chest should engage. Your shoulders should engage. Your fingers should not strain. And you can do 10 repetitions. If you feel sharp pain, stop. Not soreness, not talking about that. Sharp pain means you're damaging tissue. Stop immediately. Do this every day for 2 weeks. Your body will learn the movement pattern. Your brain will default to this method under stress. And one more thing, stop training through pain. I don't care what the young guys say. Pain is your body telling you something is wrong. Pushing through sharp pain in your hands or wrists creates chronic injuries that take a very long time to heal, if they heal. You're not 25 or 30. You don't bounce back from tendon damage. Respect that rule. If it hurts, stop. Adjust your grip. Try it again. If it still hurts, you might need a different gun or medical intervention. You are one malfunction away from being defenseless. Learn to fix it now, not during a home invasion. Now I have 3 questions for you. You can answer them to yourself or in the comments below. Can you rack your slide 5 times in a row right now without pain or struggle? Have you practiced slide manipulation in the dark with cold hands while your heart is pounding from exertion? And if you answer no to these questions, what are you going to do about it? In the next video, we're going to look at why I was wrong about the 380 for self-defense. We're going to talk about the lies and myths of the 380 versus 9mm debate and find out which one is right for you. So we'll see you next week. And please, while you're in the area, go to everydaygunowner.com and you can download the free Aging Hand Protocol. This is a free guide. The link is in the description. Gives you specific exercises, grip modifications, and weapon selection criteria to maintain shooting proficiency as your hands change. You don't need more gear, you need a system. And that Aging Hand Protocol provides that system. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.